TinkerCAD tips, object articulation. I've gone over this in the past, probably about a year ago, but I recently had a follower ask about articulation. So I wanted to do a little bit of experimenting, and the other day on a live, I was showing people some of the testing that I was doing. So I wanted to share with you all a couple of the ideas that I came up with, and I want to preface this by saying that this is not the be-all and end-all of articulation. There are probably many different ways to do this. These are just a couple of designs that I came up with. Now, in the past, I think you've seen me create objects like this where I used wave duplication and made, something like a snake here. And I wanted to use that as a test bed for my articulation. Now, in order to create sections here, I came up with this little object down here that will help me make splits. Now, this doesn't divide these into actual different objects. It'll all still be the same object, but there'll be the gap between that we can put these hinges. And this was simply made, if I ungroup it here, is from a couple of flattened spheres, and then this solid rectangle, you see there. And if we make this transparent, I have those two flattened spheres fairly close to each other. So that was the piece that we made. Let's undo this, go back to its original format here, and then I turn this into a hole. And the way this is used, I'll select on it here. I use this as my template. I'll make a duplicate of that. Now, the first thing I want to do here is make it a wee bit thinner. About like that. And then I want to lean it back just a little bit to follow sort of the lean of this snake that I'm working on. We'll take this, we'll move it over here. Now, the one thing that I want to do for these is enlarge this a bit. And the way to enlarge it without changing any of the proportions is to hold down Alt and Shift at the same time, and then grab a sizing handle and pull it up. Let's go ahead and change my snap grid here to off. Make this a little larger. There we go. We'll move it into place, and we can see from the shadow more or less where that's intersecting. We'll move it down. Okay, we'll get a view on it here, and then I'll grab the rotation handle. Whoop, grab the wrong thing. Let's grab that. The handle, and we'll rotate it a bit till it's more or less parallel to where we want to cut. Right about there. So you can see from the shadow what's going to be cut out when I merge these together. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm just going to lasso the two of these, select the two of those together. And then I'm going to click on the group symbol up here, or Control-G, either one. And then we have to give it a minute or so to resolve. Once it's resolved, it'll look like this. Now there's a gap between the two halves, and each half is rounded. This will allow for a little flexibility. Once there's a hinge or an articulation between the two, that'll allow for a little bit of movement. And I would just continue to do that down the length of this item here till we get to the end. So that's that piece, simple to make. Now, as far as hinge designs, this is sort of the first one that I came up with, and it's made of 3 elements. There's the whole part of it that will go in the front half. I'll select that, and then the front half to put the hole in it. And then there's a pin that goes across, and then there's this section of the pivot that will go in the back half. I'll show you how that's used. Let's select all 3 of those. We'll make a duplicate of that. We're going to bring that over here. Now as I do this, I can resize these appropriately for each gap. This gap here is a little larger, so I'm going to hold Alt and Shift. I'm going to size it up just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to go ahead, while they're all selected, lean it back a little bit to follow the slant of the item. And while they're all selected, I can move them over here. Let's zoom in here so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to select this snake object here, hit the letter T for transparent. Now to reselect those inner parts, I'm going to lasso all of that and then Shift deselect the snake part of it. Now what I want to do here is manipulate this into the right position. Oops, undo that. There we go. We'll move this about from up top. Let's rotate it just a wee bit to be square. I'm going to use the cursor keys here. Got my snap grid set to off. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and the cursor key. I'll use that to nudge everything into place. Okay, now to see that everything is lined up, I'm going to select on the snake part of it, make it untransparent again. Reselect my 3 items, and I'm going to shift nudge everything until I see that whole part protrude from the front half. That way I know it'll make a clean cut. We'll increase the size just a little bit. Make sure it's aligned correctly. There we go. I'm going to zoom in. Now what I want to do is select just this whole shape and then the snake part of it. So I'm going to select the whole, Shift select the snake part of it, and group just those two together and wait for it to resolve. Once resolved, it'll look like this. You can see down there, let's go ahead and make that transparent for a moment. You can see the hole's been cut in there. And then we still have the pin and then this loop part of it that we need to group together with the rest of this snake. So let's make this untransparent. There we go. We'll lasso select all 3 of those items, and I'll verify here I have 3 shapes. And we'll do the same thing. We'll group again and wait for that to resolve. Once resolved, it'll all be one color. We can click up here and change it back to multicolor. That way we can see that hinge and everything that's in there. If we make that transparent, you can see all those parts in there now. That's that one. Now I wanted to also note that as we get down into these smaller gaps, and if we were to use this, let's make another duplicate of it. Drag that over. We are going to want to make this a little bit smaller by holding Alt and Shift and sizing down a bit. But as we're making it smaller, it's important to also make it wider again. This will help keep those pins and these links fairly beefy so that when they're 3D printed, they're not too thin. So I'm going to cover just this in this video. I will catch you in the next one. I will go over placing this link, and then I have these 2 others that I wanted to show you as well. Like, follow, and share. If you have any comments or questions, you know where to drop them in the comments. See you in the next one.